Bailey Ober, he gets beat up. 7 earned runs today. Twins 3-game win streak. That snap. Final versus Detroit in game 2, 10-5. Full deep dive coming up next. Minnesota Twins postcast.
This is the Twins postcast. Your instant game reaction for the Minnesota Twins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's going on? Back in the lab, back at another Minnesota Twins postcast right here. Locked On Sports Minnesota Network, your team every day. Luke Inman at Luke_Spinman. Main man with me, Sweet Lou Hennessy. Give him a follow on X at Sweet Lou MN. Twins expert over at Zone Coverage MN. We'll get into it all the meat and potatoes, right? Twins lose this one, 3-game win streak snap. But the buck truck, man, does it again. 3 for 4, a 2-run bop, 402-foot bomb, by the way. Lou, is this hands down, no-brainer, the best we've ever seen him play, what we're seeing right now?
Sorry, I just have to furiously knock on some wood here, but yeah. I think that absolutely you'd have to take this as his best overall season, especially in terms of how healthy and available he's been. He DH'd today, and I think he's probably done that maybe a handful of times this year, but I'm surprised at how often he's out there playing a really solid center field, and he's really trying to punch his ticket to Atlanta for that All-Star game, baby. He's really he's gunning for it.
So what, 31 going on 32 here? Is that right? Does that sound right? 31 going on 32?
I think he just turned 31, I want to say.
Okay, so just turned 31. Now, 2 ways to look at that. Obviously, 31, no way other to slice it, right? You're 31. Obviously, you're getting up there a little long in the tooth, obviously. But there is another half glass full way I can look at this, and it's, he hasn't logged a ton of games. There still could be a lot of tread on the tires, knowing how much time he's missed. Obviously, yes, that is a big part of the equation here, but it's not like this guy has been playing 155 games every single season too. So maybe he could be a guy, if he could stretch together, obviously a good run of some healthy play here season after season. Maybe he's a guy that could still play at this kind of level for another 3, 4, 5 years, maybe.
Yeah, you got to hope so. And you know what? He's playing like he wants to accomplish just that. I mean, he stole his 15th base of the season this year, and he's still elite when it comes to his sprint speed and some of his range metrics. So you got to think that he'll stick around in center field for a good amount of time here. And if that bat keeps playing as it has been, the production on a per game basis has just been awesome for the past few seasons. So keeping him on the field and keeping him in the lineup is what's most important. And as this season shows, he can do a lot when he does that.
Yeah, well said. Lots to get into. Our biggest turning point, plus handing out some mid-season awards for the Twins. But first, quick reminder, today's episode brought to us by Game Time. Game Time, download that Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Quick little recap if you missed it. Twins Tigers today, noon game, game 2. You got Bailey Ober on the mound, and you were just hoping from Bailey here he could keep kind of this trend going, right? After Festa's day yesterday, we'll talk about Joe Ryan's day a few games ago. And it was going fine, right, until bottom of the 4th. 2 home runs given up, plus a sac fly. That made it 5-2. 11 hits, 7 earned. 5 2/3 on the day, 5 Ks, 1 walk. Not what you're hoping for. Again, both Buxton and Correa homered, which was nice to see, but not even close to enough. 10-5, that's your final. 38-42 now on the year, 4 games below 500. The streak is officially snapped at 3. Biggest takeaways, 8 topics, I guess. What stuck out the most from today's game specifically?
You know, Bailey Ober has just got to be so relieved to turn the page on the calendar next week to July, because June has been one of the worst months, not just of his career, but of, I think, any Twin in the history of the franchise here. Wow. He's given up something like 14 home runs. I think Phil Miller of the Star Tribune had this just after the game today. 14 home runs, and that's the second most given up in a month all time. So he's, unfortunately, it's been just a dreadful, I think, 7 starts it's been this month. He's ready to turn the page. He's ready to find what made him so successful, not just in the first few years of his career, but the first couple couple months of this season, he was rock solid. Remember, he and Joe Ryan were both kind of this 1A, 1B, Pablo in the mix there too. And it's just been absolutely dreadful for the month of June. So he's ready to turn the page here. I'm not sure where they go with him. I'm not sure if they just have to keep him in the fold and let him pitch through it, or if he needs some sort of a break physically or mentally. I'm not sure what it is. And I think that they're desperately looking for some answers, because it's been rough every 5 days.
Yeah, no doubt.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Okay, so tied up 2 apiece going into the top of the 4th. Then what happened? Laid on us. Biggest turning point today. When was it and why?
Yeah, it's got to be when the multiple home runs again, like I said, is the turning point. And once they decided, you know what, Bailey, you're just going to have to wear this one. I understand the basis for that decision 100%, but you got to think that in just looking at today's game, that's kind of the difference of, hey, we're going to have this struggling starting pitcher still sop up some inning for us. And as we saw, the Twins ended up scoring 5 runs but it was way out of hand at that point. So for me, that was the turning point in today's game.
After a victory, every clubhouse probably, blasting the JBL, the Bluetooth speaker, listening to some tunes. Maybe he needs to just listen to some Bob Seger, turn the page. Turn that page over to July, will you? Probably needs it more than anybody. Plenty more deep dive. Mid-season awards I want to hand out with you for the Twins. That's all coming up right after this. Quick reminder, today's episode brought to us by FanDuel. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook and official sportsbook partner of the MLB. Right now, FanDuel's giving you a chance at a huge return, $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you win your first $5 wager. And why I love FanDuel, when you get the hunch in the middle of the game, you go check out the latest stats. You can view live play-by-play and so much more, all on the same page where you place your bets. Again, $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you win your first $5 bet. Go check it all out over at FanDuel.com. Get on some MLB future action if you dare. Twins sitting at plus 650 right now to win the AL Central. It's all sitting up over at FanDuel.com. Again, check it all out over at FanDuel.com and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you win your first $5 wager. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook and official sportsbook partner of the MLB. All right, quick little recap, just because we missed it. Don't want to ever gloss over a W, especially this season for the Twins. Missed last night's game, 4-1 beatdown to take game 1 versus Detroit. Very nice games from Brooks Lee, Byron Buxton once again, and young David Festa on the mound. He was fantastic as well. A quick little recap or what stuck out to you there. And when you look at that 3-game win streak they had too, the common denominator was no doubt the pitching, right? That's the atopic. And it was almost like for a brief little window of time until today with Bailey Ober, it looked like maybe you could see the blueprint. Like you could see just how they could be able to kind of rediscover what made them so formidable, I guess, before the loss of Pablo Lopez. Did it not?
Absolutely. It felt like the prototype. It felt like the formula that they're trying to follow to get to these wins. And it like you said, it worked spectacularly the last 3 games, and it worked really well over the win streak, obviously. That's, a solid, strong foundation of bulk pitching, whether that's with an opener and David Festa coming in after, or just having some of these starting pitchers go into the 6th inning, and then you can really go to your A guys in the bullpen who can lock it down. We didn't see that today, obviously, but the last 3, like you said, you can see what they're going for. You can see the basis behind kind of their mission here.
Let's get into a little fun because we're officially at the midway point in this 162 game season, this gauntlet of a year. Let's hand out some midseason awards. Let's start with the big one. Let's start with the obvious one, I should say. Team MVP. Who is it and why is it Byron Buxton?
Of course. You'd have to say it's Byron Buxton. He's played so much. He's been so effective at the top of that lineup there, especially cementing himself in that leadoff spot. We've seen him shuffled around to the 3 hole, maybe clean up at different points of the year. But once he really started turning it on, they're like, okay, we want this guy getting the most plate appearances. He's the dog. He's the big guy in our lineup here. He's been fantastic. I would absolutely, 100% slam my hand down on that button to vote for him for team MVP. Got to give some love to Joe Ryan on the pitching side. He's been very good, and he's kind of cemented himself in the upper echelon of the American League starting pitchers. Yohan Duran has been very good at the end of games too. He's had a couple of clunkers, but he's really he's answered the call for the most part this season. So it's got to be Buxton. Yeah, go ahead.
Got to be Buck Truck. Talk to me about the stolen bases. I feel like that gets a little glossed over. What, 15 for 15 still? Maybe one of the only guys with more than 10 stolen bases. Correct me if I'm wrong. That hasn't been thrown out yet. Talk to me about just the speed on the base pass and just how athletic and just fast this dude is.
He's certainly more selective. I mean, he's always with this elite speed. He's always been kind of selective about when he's running, and he's always been really efficient in when he does decide to go. Like I said, 15 for 15 this year. I believe his career long success rate is 90%. He's the only player in the history of baseball to have a 90% success rate with stolen bases. I think Aaron Gleeman tweeted that out. So he's been just so fun. That's another dimension of him, his elite defense, his super powered bat, and then on top of it, he can swipe a couple bases here and there.
How about most improved player for the Twins this year? Who is it and why?
We got to go with the local kid, I think, Mr. Sweet Lou Varland. There's a lot of question marks about whether it would go as planned when he transitioned over to a bullpen role, but really he is another person who has answered the call seemingly at every turn here. He's got that high octane fastball. He's turned into, I'm not calling him some veteran or anything, but you can definitely tell that he's like, it's clicking the art of pitching and pitch selection and execution there. He's turned it to a new level this year. So I'm going to give him most improved, but there's a few other guys that catch my eye too.
Most valuable fielder, I think you could obviously say maybe Correa or Buxton. I feel like there's a wild card in there we talked about before the show, but I don't want to influence you. Most valuable fielder for the Twins, who is it and why?
I mean, it's still Byron Buxton, but just for the sake of the conversation here, I think Carlos, even despite some of his offensive struggles, he's been very strong in the field for this whole season too. So got to give him some love, but Harrison Bader got to throw him some shine for some of the highlight reel catches that he's been
great. He's been fun, flashy.
And he's been playing more than I think they maybe anticipated when they signed him. I think they saw him as maybe a platoon guy who maybe gets a spot start every once in a while, but he's come up pretty big for them, and especially in the field with those diving catches that you see on SportsCenter.
Former Gold Glove winner in center field, correct?
Yes. He's former Gold Glove for sure. I can't remember if he won the Platinum Glove. I know Carlos has a Platinum Glove.
Got it. Okay, fair enough. Last one, most valuable rookie. Kind of tough, I know, but just throw somebody out there so we got something to chew on here, I guess.
Look, everybody's real excited with Luke Keeshaw's first 5 games, which they were awesome. It was so fun to see, and I hope that he can regain some of that fire when he's healthy enough to return to the Twins lineup. That'll be a really welcome development. He's not a rookie technically, but Brooks Lee has really turned it on as well. He just debuted last year, and he played just enough to push it over so that he could not get a rookie designation this year. But even with, so he had that, 16, 17 game hit streak. That was mostly, I'm not going to say punchless, but he was going 1 for 4, 1 for 5 every day, which certainly has its value. I might make the argument that he's been better since that streak has been snapped. He's had multiple multi-hit games, a little bit of pop in the bat with some home runs there, and he's cementing himself as a really good fielder at the hot corner too. So that'll be something to watch when Royce Lewis returns. Who's going to be the 1A option at third base?
Yeah, love that. Good deep dive there. Don't go anywhere. One more segment. 13 games left before the All-Star break. Let's look at this final stretch for the Twins and what they need to do. That's all coming up right after this. Quick reminder, today's episode also brought to us by Prize Picks. Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app with more than 3 million members to date for me and my money. By far the easiest and most exciting way to get in on all the action while you watch your favorite sports and you watch your favorite players. So simple, too. All you got to do, you pick more or less on 2 or more player stats. You watch the winnings roll in, strikeouts, RBIs, home runs, stolen bases, hits, you name it, they got it. Take your pick on more or less. Add them to your Prize Picks entry today. Plus, they now offer Apple Pay, quick and easy deposits into your account all season long. Download the Prize Picks app. Use code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 instantly with any $5 wager. All right, Game 3 tomorrow. Then you got a day off Monday, and then you got 3 with Miami in Miami. Start here. 30 seconds, 60-second scouting report on game 3 tomorrow. Chris Paddock back on the mound. And then I guess what I want to ask you here before we get out of here, part 2 of this equation, kind of more big picture. You got 4 series left before the All-Star break. You got at Miami, Tampa, Chicago Cubs, and the Pirates. Now, Miami, like I said, is on the road after that day off Monday. But then you come home for 9 straight games at Target Field to close out this first half before they get that nice little All-Star break. Big picture there. Just tell me what you think about that stretch when you see it on paper. And I don't know, any realistic goals or what you're thinking about, what you want to see the most during those last 12 games?
I would absolutely want to see the starting pitching continue to kind of find their footing, re-find their footing, because they were rock solid for the first 6-7 weeks of the season. And then things kind of collapsed there once it turned to June. But definitely want to see them find their footing. How about this? Is it reasonable to ask that the Twins maybe do some of their eating against the Miami Marlins after an off day, get some nice rest in, eat against a team that's been really struggling this year? And then for like you said, those last 9 games at home, just try to be competitive. Try to keep your head above water. Do your eating against Miami. Go into the All-Star game somewhere around the 500 mark. And then you got maybe Pablo coming back soon. Royce Lewis coming back soon. Let's talk about some reinforcements there. But for right now, they got to keep their head above water and do their eating against teams like the Marlins and the Pirates.
Yeah, well said there. Twins 3-game win streak snapped. As you said, July just can't get here soon enough for Bailey Ober.
Yeah.
11 hits, 7 earned runs on the day, 5 2/3, 10-5. That's your final. Huge shout out though to all you guys, all the everydayers out there that always make us your first listen. All you guys coming in the chat with us from game to game. Make sure you like and subscribe. Check out all of Sweet Lou's work on X at Sweet Lou MN Plus. Always putting up great work over at ZoneCoverageMN.com as well. Luke Inman on X at Luke_Spinman. Again, game 3 tomorrow. I believe it's a 6 p.m. first pitch, a little late one. Chris Paddock, I believe, on the mound. But we'll catch you right here, same time, same place. Until then, signing out.